Welcome to the France 24 Observers. This show is based on our network of observers. They're ordinary people who tell us what's going on where they are and send in photos and videos to document it. We verify it all here in Paris and bring the best to you. For more than 2 decades now, Kazakhstan has been ruled with an iron fist by its leader, Nursultan Nazarbayev. The country has lots of oil, but few of its inhabitants are benefiting from these riches, and some have started to protest. Aizangul Amirova tells us about clashes between workers and the police that got very violent.
Workers at an oil company in Zanaozen had been striking for 6 months. They were asking for a salary hike, which they were legally entitled to. On December 16th, I received a phone call from a woman in Zanaozen. At that time, I was in another city. The woman told me that war had broken out over there. I saw videos of what had happened. On one side, young people were throwing rocks. On the other, the police were shooting, and people were falling to the ground. That day, I received phone calls late into the night. People told me that they were burying the dead. There were more than 20 killed, though the official tally is only 16. The police intervention was cruel and inhuman. The striking workers had been laid off by their company. After these incidents, they were promised new jobs in a brand new company. But this company doesn't exist. Nobody believes it will be created. The workers haven't been given anything at all.
You've probably never heard of the village of Wukong in southeastern China, yet that's where a protest movement's been born, one that could well go down in the history books. Villagers went into revolt after the local government decided to confiscate some of their land, which is a common problem in China. Our observer, who goes by the name Dr. Deng, traveled to Wukong to see how this tiny village managed to stick up for itself.
At first, the villagers said they weren't starting a revolution. They said they just wanted the government to hear their grievances. So they made signs and banners and marched to the local government's headquarters.
The
police reacted by trying to quash the demonstration. Riot police were sent in to break it up, but the villagers filmed the incident and put their videos online. After that, they elected representatives. They organized themselves really well in order to continue their protest. The protest lasted from September to December. In the end, the authorities agreed to negotiate with the villagers. They were satisfied with this and decided to put an end to their protest. It might be too optimistic to see this protest as a start of something bigger, but it's the first time the Chinese villagers get this organized by, for example, electing representatives in order to succeed in their goals.
The Freedom from Religion Foundation is an organization in the United States that fights for the rights of non-believers, atheists and agnostics alike. Its president, Dan Baker, tells us about an incident that took place just before Christmas in the small town of Athens, Texas.
We received many complaints this year all over the country, in particular one down in Texas, a little city called Athens, where they had the creche right by the front entrance of the county building, giving the appearance that it was the government speaking and the government preferring the Christian religion. And we suggested they should move the creche away from government property and give it to private property. But the Christians showed up to protest our complaint. And there are about 5,000 Christians came to that small county building in a city that only has 13,000 people. And they were singing and praising Jesus, and they were saying, God is the King, and they were angry at us for suggesting that the government be neutral. The conservative Christians, they know they are losing. And I think they are like a dying animal in the forest. They know they are dying, and so they are getting more and more vicious.
The commissioner of Henderson County, where the town of Athens is located, has replied to Dan Baker's request. He said he'd have the nativity scene removed, quote, when hell freezes over. That's all for this week, but as always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website, on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and on our iPhone app. See you next time.